You know, a lot of times you'll see on YouTube, someone will say like, oh, I built this in 20 minutes. It's so easy. I have yet to build anything valuable in 20 minutes.
Don't be stuck with building custom software that's going to be obsolete in 6 months.
If you're in the world of software, somebody's always in the background updating it. Somebody is always keeping the lights on. Somebody is always making the changes. And this pipe dream is that AI will just do that itself.
It's one thing to build it. It's another thing to keep it up to date.
Just because you can, should you?
This is AI Marketing Experts, where bold marketers and next-gen AI collide. Each week, join us as we decode trends, test tools, and share real wins from the AI-powered front lines. No fluff, no hype, just straight talk and smarter marketing. Tap subscribe and let's geek out on AI.
Well, howdy, everybody, and welcome to the AI Marketing Experts Show. Our topic this week is going to be an interesting one, I think. There's a lot of things flying around in AI, and I think that making sure that we understand in our minds as either agency owners or if you're in a marketing department and you're trying to figure out AI and how to incorporate AI, there's just so many options. And they're being added by the day. So for your workflows, however, right, a lot of times it comes down to should I buy into this product or should I build my own, right? And there's a lot of tools nowadays that can help with the build your own or have someone else build it for you kind of a thing. So that's really our topic today is build versus buy. All right. What's the options? What should we think about? What are the traps that we might fall into? Let's talk about the very first thing. How do we actually cut our software costs? Let's just go ahead and start with John. John knows probably the most about this, I think, out of all of us. What do you think, John?
Yeah, I think it's a good question. It's a question that comes up for my carpet cleaning and home cleaning business clients as well. It's like, hey, House Call Pros, Service Monster, Jobber, Marquette, they all got this stuff coming in. I've got this other software. And we have that conversation. I got one coming up this afternoon with one of our big clients who's asking, what can you build for me? What can we do? What can I build? Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi have their How to Build Your a Clone of Yourself 6-week training going on right now. It is the hot topic on planet Earth. Go back to end of January, this thing called OpenClaw came out and everybody was, oh my God, agents, that's the thing. 4 months later, so in AI language, 4 years later now, at this point, in the end of May, beginning of June, where it is everybody everywhere is trying to put it into all of the stuff. And it depends on this. We were talking ahead of time, but it's sort of like, if you're in the world of software, it's somebody's always in the background updating it. Somebody is always keeping the lights on. Somebody is always making the changes. And this pipe dream is that AI will just do that itself. Like these agents will just self-update. And we've got friends that are in the marketing world that kind of went down that rabbit hole and everybody with the OpenClaw are realizing it's you kind of still need to be the smartest person in the room and direct it and correct mistakes and all of that kind of stuff. Do you want to be that person? Do you want to run your business? Meet new farmers, new ag people? Do you want to meet new, referral partners and real estate agents and all of that kind of stuff? Like, insurance adjusters for roofers. Do you want to be out doing that and actually growing the business? Or do you want to be spending hours behind the computer going, why did my inbox 0 not run this morning for my agent? What happened? What did I do wrong? What's a wiki versus a rag we talked about versus, whatever, a graphic, semantic indexing. Well, what did you even just say, John? And somebody needs to know what I just said to be able to make sure that when you tell it to do something, it has a memory and a history to do it, whether that's in one little tool to update your accounting, like QuickBooks has got AI in it now, or do you want to take it outside with these connectors, like the fancy word now is MCPs, but APIs, boom, here's everything. Here's all your data, go figure it out. We're just going to data dump on you. MCPs, here's all the connecting points. We're going to dump all that to you. Go figure out which ones you want. Machine, right? And then CLI is sort of like, oh, which one do you want individually? This is the world of sort of that world. Do you know what I just said? That's part of should you build it or buy it. If you don't even know what I just said, do you want a whole new degree in something? because it's not a college course for the next 3 years. It's like, you better know what I just said in 3 weeks if you're going to be building it yourself. So if you do, it's exciting. And Chris and I, like, he way ahead of the charge, but I came up the rear and like, holy crap. And every day there's something new. You're going, I can add that to this tool and do this, and I can move this over here. Oh, there's a new thing came out. I can add it over there. And all of it is just, it's evolving so fast. Who keeps up with that or keeps up with your business? That's the decision I think you really need to make. And if it's somebody else, then let somebody else keep up with it, right? Let the software provider or whatever add it in, make it easier, or change software to something that does seem to have the agentic built in. But you're still going to have, whether it's a 22-year-old just out of college rep, just like you got with Google, just like you got with your, Salesforce.com, well, you're going to have that for somebody to help you keep the AI working in the background too. It doesn't just run itself.
I think that's exactly right. And excuse me, I was talking earlier about, I was watching a lot of basketball lately because it's the playoffs. And it seems like there's so many commercials, even when you're watching the game, it's in the background. Google this, and it's talking about all the updates with Google AI, get Google AI overview. My point is the commercials, the advertisers are saying, this is AI now, just build it, right? So to me, it's like, okay, being a web developer for 20 years, there's always been that option that the layman, the business owner, could build a website on their own. But like John was just saying, is that a smart move for you and or your company? Because just because you can, should you? My recommendation in most cases would be probably not, because trying to understand all the things that John just said, and manage everything and have a degree essentially on how to put this all together is not what most people need or want. So yes, it's getting easier. Yes, it's getting more intuitive. Yes, it will do a lot of the things for you. But even for us, building tools or systems that are beneficial for businesses still need management. They still need support. They still need somebody behind the scenes to be able to keep the lights on, keep it flowing, keep it working, because it will break. It's just like with websites. Again, I've had people over the years, I built this amazing website, but it broke now. What do I do? I don't have a backup. I didn't know I needed that. What do I do? So you really, in most cases, don't want to be in that boat unless you really want to take on a big commitment, because that's exactly what it is. So software, AI tools, all these different things. Yes, they're fancy. They look cool. The thought of doing it all yourself and bringing it all in-house, I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying make sure you have a backup plan and you have somebody on your team somewhere that can help you put it all together correctly. And maybe it makes sense to just work with somebody like one of us who live and breathe this stuff. And that way you have somebody that will support you and help you.
100%. I think that's very valuable insight that you've been providing, because I think that as we all have had experience, you are correct. I mean, there, of course, are, we'll say, quicker ways to build the website, but that is a question that we also receive. I say that's primarily the way we get a lot of clients, is that they've tried to build it themselves. They realized that there were steps that were skipped or missed, or they just did not know they needed to do, or that tool that they were trying to use got them 20%. They felt like they were 20% there, but it was that extra 80 that made the difference. And so again, if you know what it's built on, what will put you out there, what will get things done faster for you, it makes a huge difference. And I know with this group, we talk about foundation. It all comes down to the foundation. So there might be some amazing things that we're able to do faster with AI, but if we don't have that foundational knowledge, it is just a tool. So we do need to know how to keep it fine-tuned, running right, with the latest information versus I guess one way to think about it is pulling out an old laptop. If it's not on the latest software and stuff, it might be slow. I mean, I can mention dial-up to some of us that we might remember that. And looking at some, there's just, of course, advancements, but we do need to know what the latest is. And if you're working with someone who's in the weeds all the time, they'll tell you which companies just popped up and chances are might just disappear. We've all done that. And that's one thing that I think reason why we started talking as a group is we would see something. It was fantastic, but then we watched it fade away because it had momentum, grabbed a lot of attention, and then was gone. So that's another thing too to be aware of is, will that company that you built your whatever, whether it be vibe coding, whether it be your new website, whether it be whatever widget that you wanted to build, is that company that's hosted or you built it on, will it still be around? So these are things just to consider. I'm with Brad. If that's where you want to spend your time is in front of the computer, go for it. That's the reason why we're doing this, is to give that those gold nuggets to those business owners, but also think maybe it's something that when work with a partnership, if you want to be involved, ask them about admin access and see if you can have a level of access that you can keep it updated if you like. Because I know that this is what we're going to talk about here as a team is it's one thing to build it. It's another thing, like John and the group was saying, it's another thing to keep it up to date and the information, especially if you're building a clone. Where's your knowledge? When was the last time you added to it?
Yeah. I got a question for you, Chris. When's the last time you used Perplexity browser with a shortcut to write a blog post that we showed everybody back in October, November?
No, I haven't used that, but I've used
it
to help me figure out things. Right? Yeah, exactly.
And that was amazing. And it's gone. They deprecated it. You can't even use it anymore. I found that out.
Exactly.
It's gone.
After all that time spending on it, right? And that's really kind of the trap that we're talking about, right? And we had a friend of ours, Danny Barrera, come on, right? And he built this awesome software, that AI driven content and all that kind of stuff, and it was obsolete when Claude released something, and it's like
$300,000, and it was obsolete.
300. Sorry,
he'd invested.
Yeah, right.
So.
And so, I mean, and that's kind of the trap that we all live in sometimes. And I know that I've lived there too with my own software that we run for we run our agency on some custom software that we have built. We started it in 2014. I guess that's 12 years ago at this point, right? Am I doing the math on that? 14 years, 12 years, whatever. I'm not good at math.
Good.
And we have spent a significant amount of money on that. Like if we tracked actually what we've spent over the past, 12 years on that, is easily going to be upwards of $100,000 to $200,000, right? So is it obsolete? No, because we keep building it to our workflows, right? And we keep adjusting it to how the internet is adjusting. Our problem that we ran into at the beginning of this year is though our programmer wasn't using Claude Code, and by the time that he would finish a module or a fix, Google had already shifted, or so we took it over with Claude Code. We're able to move fast, but the problem is we're breaking a lot of stuff though, right? So we're falling into that time trap of having to spend so much time fixing things that Claude Code is actually going out and actively breaking and killing our workflows. So that's kind of the trap that you fall into and that we're going to see. So I say no custom. That's me. No custom, right? Stay with stuff that's off the shelf because you're going to spend a heck of a lot less money and time. And really time is more valuable to me than money is, right? And I say that with a big asterisk that I am currently building all sorts of cool stuff for my agency and my clients as well. So, I don't know, but I think that if I were to go back to 2014, I would have said, let's just use this software over here. Right.
So do as Chris says, not as Chris does. Is that
exactly? Yeah, pretty much.
What are you thinking, Jen?
Well, so you guys know, I think you guys know, I'm building things for my agency, and I'm building in Claude Code and CoWork, and I love doing all of that stuff. But You know, a lot of times you'll see on YouTube, someone will say like, oh, I built this in 20 minutes. It's so easy. 20 minutes, you can have this done. I have yet to build anything valuable in 20 minutes. And there are even things that I thought, oh, this is probably going to take me, an hour or two. And then I ended up being sucked into it for like the good portion of 2 days. And so just because you think that something is buildable, maybe it is, but when you think about it, you might want to think about it like, okay, what if this takes me 3 times as long as I think it's going to? Is it still how I want to be spending my time? So I think about that. And then the other thought that I have is that if there is someone out there that they're like, oh, but I really want to get in there and like check it out, like go to Cowork and schedule some things. Like just like schedule a task. Do like connect a couple things, schedule those out. Start there.
Yeah.
That's something, that is something you could probably do in 20 minutes. Like, no problem there. But then you're not talking about a full custom build about something or, spending time on that.
Yeah, light lifts takes things off your plate that take a little bit longer, like that are repetitive. You could have something go in and check your inbox. Google's or Gmail's now coming out with it, and just if you uploaded your brand voice, your master prompt, whatever. If you don't, it doesn't know. If you do, and have it just draft emails. That's a beautiful one. Just have it waiting for you. Log in and go, I've got them pre-written. If you don't even want to do that, install the Claude browser app, go over to Google and say, hey, read this thread and come up with a message that kind of says something about this, because here's where I was going to take it. I just don't want to write the words. It writes it, you change a few words and press send. You just saved yourself, if you're like me, 20 minutes of painstakingly trying to figure out what the right words are and copy and moving it around for a message to a vendor you don't even care about, right? It's like, as of now, it just wrote it for you, got your sentiment across, good enough. You press send to your accountant, whatever, carry on with your day, right? Those are probably the best use cases to jump into and get really good at and get your team to jump into as well. Because the other side of it is, I think, AI fatigue. And we've talked about it. AI depression and AI fatigue is a real thing, because you do run into, oh, this is amazing. I got this. Oh, what? Whoa, what? Like 2 weeks in, and all of a sudden, like everything broke. And to go back and fix it is, where did that break? I didn't build it. You did. Like the AI, you're talking to the AI. You built it. You tell me where it is. Well, if you could tell me what registry that's in, I don't know what a registry is. Like, so, right? So, yeah.
I like the point that you two have made. I'm sorry, in the fact that consider how much time you will save if you take the time to use AI to do the task, because that's something I don't think people consider. They may lose, even if it's 45 minutes and that task would have taken them less than 3. Okay, is the 45-minute investment, is it something they'll be able to use moving forward? Or is it something that just took them 45 minutes and they could have actually only replied to that email or whatever in 3? So even before you start down some rabbit holes, that's kind of what we've been telling our team is, think, will this be something I can use moving forward that, to your point, won't break often, but it's going to make us more efficient? Or is it something that we should say, no, I'm just going to do it traditional and get that task done?
Yeah. I got to throw one thing on Chris, because the other side of this whole thing is, should I do it or should I hire it out or buy it, right? That's our conversation. The other side of that is, who pays for the tokens? Right? Yep. Because token math has become like, look, so Microsoft just came out with an announcement there. They burnt their entire annual budget, Microsoft, of token usage in the first 5 months of 2026, and have told their entire staff to back off. Because they weren't cutting people. They were saying, go do more. And the average employee was spending about $2,000 extra per month or more, times 70,000 employees or whatever the number is, on an AI token expense they didn't have the year before.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I think real issue to think about as well. Inside a tool, they pay for the tokens.
Yeah. I think another key point is we're not saying don't use AI, for a lot of general things that you can do. We're talking, I think, a lot of levels more of building a full-on system that will be agentic with have a lot of different features and a lot of things that are useful. But I think the important part here, a couple of us were in a convention a couple of months ago, and it was brought up, hey, this tool has the last name of Claw. We'll leave it nameless. Is so amazing. But by the way, it could hack into everything that you own. So be extra careful, right? Security wise. Oh, don't put it on your real computer. So security is such a huge factor here on a lot of things. If you're getting into custom builds and agentic systems and all these other things, if you don't really know what you're doing and you're kind of just hoping that the AI will know how to protect you, you're probably in for a surprise, because there's a lot of things out there that really are not going to be foolproof and safe proof. And I know that Chris and John have dug way deeper into these things that I have, but to the point of having dedicated computers, buying Mac Minis, doing all these other things to protect your data. Because if you really have a full system that's going to help run your business, you're going to have some sensitive information and there's some sensitive data. And that's where you really, I think, need to be cautious, because I think that as it progresses, it won't be a thing as much. It's like probably when thinking back when the internet was newer, we were all around like, okay, oh, we need an antivirus. Oh, we need this. We need to do the Windows updates. Oh, okay. But I think that we're going to see more and more of that level of you have to protect your data and your customers' data when you delve into something like this.
Yeah. I'll it's one thing that's on my radar. So I bought my first Bitcoin. I'll tie this together. Trust me, guys. I bought my first Bitcoin in 2013, right? So yay me. John seemed like a smarty pants at the time, right? I lost more of them on hacked networks and stuff like that than I was able to keep, but still a good thing. And that's why you guys still see me around today, because if I'd been able to keep them all, you wouldn't have known where I was. I'm on a beach somewhere. Anyways, but crypto is dying. And so I'm in investment clubs. I'm in the investment clubs have transitioned over to traditional finance a lot and stuff like that. There's still a little bit of right, but the whole world of crypto has taken a new industry, sucked it all down to Bitcoin because venture capital is involved in it. Stablecoin, the whole Clarity Act thing, don't worry about it, and real world assets, right, which came out of this other thing. The reason why the entire rest of the meme coin and altcoins and smart contracts and all of this stuff has not only kind of gone to nothing again, which again it cycles, but this time the question is, has the crowd moved on to something new? The one big risk and issue is AI can bust cryptography, and it's so close right now to breaking security that banks are worried, that Claude is worried with Mythos. They didn't even release it because it could hack JavaScript. It could do all this crazy stuff. So it could cryptocurrency was the fact that it was peer-to-peer, you to me, and it was the cryptography, the way it was protected, that nobody could see it. They could see a wallet and that was it. They couldn't hack into it. They couldn't get it if it was built well and all of that kind of stuff. But 9 times out of 10 it was built by a 15-year-old in his basement. Unfortunately, problem number one. Problem number two, AI is now smarter than that 15-year-old in his basement. It can get behind every piece of code. And the tens of thousands of cryptocurrencies, there's probably less than 1% that are actually secure. And that's the industry stats right now. Our banks are already worried about our bank accounts and our water systems and our electrical systems, because that's 1970s cryptography. We kind of know, we hear that in the news. And AI is, as it advances, it's also a security issue. So are you going to do it yourself? Do you know how to harden the security? Who's keeping up with that? As it gets smarter, your security has to get smarter. And it isn't 10 years from now it gets smarter. It's 10 days from now.
Have all of you guys connected Stripe to your Claude co-work space? Have any of you guys done that?
Not yet.
Not a chance. Not a chance.
I just did it. Like, I think it was late last week, going like, maybe over the weekend or something, going like, I don't know. And every day I think about like, should I disconnect it? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You guys are making me think I should disconnect it. But it's like, it can be so helpful to, be able to use, Claude to check things, to run, to do so many things. But it is still a security, at least a question, if not a concern.
I think for those kinds of things, we're going to get to a world. I was watching a guy talking about that a little bit, a computer programmer, and it was sort of like, we're going to get to a world where it's things like your investment accounts, your trading views, your bank accounts, your Stripes, your QuickBooks, because right now you just go online, AI, QuickBooks, whatever. And would you open up your laptop in a cafe in the middle of Greece and log into your bank account? Right? Hopefully not. A VPN, yeah, but still, probably still shouldn't, right? So, but is there a world where you can wrap it, go in for the report you need, and disconnect? And like literally almost like log into a tunnel, and that is the bank, that is the Stripe has to set that up, and you will pour it into it, pour it out of it, shut it down, clear the cache, no more record of it again. You got you ran the report, you did the session you needed, and then you didn't leave it open. I think we're going to get to that world too, as people start figuring this out. Like everything can connect to everything everywhere all at once. Yeah. And somebody could decide to hack your email and, send the world a whole bunch of stuff again. So,
yeah. Well, and if you think about it, right, in that scenario, connecting your financials or whatever sensitive data that you have, right? Think about it in 1998. And we're like, okay, should I log into my bank account via my computer? I don't know. And then so it's almost the same exact conversation as we had in 1998, right? As like, I'm not sure if I trust that to be able to log into my bank. Well, that's kind of where it is with AI at this point too. So kind of bringing it all back together, right? So raise your hand, right? If you are for building your own thing, right? Your own workflows in AI, building those out versus other hand that we'll say is buying something off the shelf, right? So raise your hands right now for
it really
building
depends.
your own.
It depends on, exactly.
Okay,
I'll go with both. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I think that goes
We're a crowd that we want to build because it's exciting, and we want to build for our customers so they don't have to go down that rabbit hole, because what is the fastest path to cash for a roofer, a carpet cleaner, whatever? It is to go out and do more of that, is to build connections to that, right? What is the support system of an agency owner nowadays? It is, can we jump into your software and do it for you? There's always been those people that will jump into Job Nimbus and just set it up for you. And that's a consultant. So you could hire somebody, but the consultant better be the one that says, yes, I'll build it. I'll build it in your system. I'll build it my own. I'll do whatever, but they understand what it's all about. So, I think in our world, any agency owners watching, by all means, you need to know what that means to build, or if there's a primary software in your industry, you go in and learn it, right? So that you're not behind and you can help your clients do the thing that they should be focusing most of their time on anyways, because we do all get caught up in writing better SOPs and, whatever, and changing the blue button on our website to a lighter blue and all that kind of stuff, when the jobs and the competitor just drove by and stole your customer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I will say too, as an agency owner and a marketer, that I am actively running both. I have things that I have, I buy like off the shelf, basically, because it does the job that I need it to do at the price that I am willing to pay for it. And then there are other things that I build, for, I guess, for the same reasons, it's the I'm willing to pay that price in both time and, all of that, and, resources, all of it. So I have both actively going. And so I think it really does depend.
Yeah. I guess,
one of my favorite books is The Who, Not How. Now, I think that I'm always intrigued and I want to learn so that way I can have these deep discussions with my clients. But I think another thing that our listeners and viewers can appreciate is pre-built computers versus, off-the-shelf laptops or desktops and stuff. We have both in here. And it is interesting. Again, it's just the fact that now we know what we need when we custom built, but it's also nice to be able to I don't want to think about it. This is where I want to check the boxes, know that it's going to do what I need it to do and be done. So I too look at the price and figure out, is it going to take me more time to build that computer system or to do something in AI or to do something in our office or for our clients? How can we do it with still a strong foundation, efficiently and effectively?
100%.
What do you think, Brad? Oops, you're muted at the moment too. Go ahead.
Efficiently and effectively. That's exactly right. I think we covered a lot of different things here. Should you or should you not? I would say experiment. Certainly try things out, but before you roll it all the way into your business, make sure if you're doing it yourself, you've got everything covered.
Yeah.
Well, and here's my recommendation. Like when it comes to AI and the stuff that I'm building, for me and my clients, the skills are more important, I think, because you can roll those into because what happens if all of a sudden Claude isn't working anymore? Right.
And Chris, define what you're saying skills so they don't think it's construction skills for any of our newer listeners.
Sure. So skills are basically a set of instructions that you create, right? And it's just a list of steps and things that you can do with a specific skill. So for instance, in one of my agents, I've got a writing skill, right? A blog writing skill. Okay, that specifically is set for just writing blogs. I've got an AI skill that audits that blog post to make sure that it actually. So it goes from one skill to the other skill, and you can have agents that have, access to 100 different skills if you want them to. Okay, and so the idea behind these skills are literally that they're a set of instructions that you could take to all sorts of different. It's becoming the standard, right? That you can take them to different agents and plug them right in, right? Those are the most valuable things. So those are basically your SOPs. So if you are building something custom inside of, let's say, Claude Cowork for you and your employees, you're going to build them inside of a plugin that holds a whole bunch of skills within that. And what I found out this morning, right, because I'm building these things, that's what Jen and I were talking about before this, is that I have to ensure that I'm on Claude Team if I want it to be able to update for anyone who has that plugin, or they have to be on Claude Team, right, for them to be able to update automatically. Or otherwise, you can uninstall the plugin and reinstall the plugin. That's kind of a pain, but it is what it is, right? The point what I'm trying to make here is that it's portable. Okay, these skills are portable. So if Claude stops working, and let's say that Google Gemini has the same kind of idea, I can upload those skills into that agent and have it start working pretty close to automatically, right? It's almost like having a WordPress website that's portable from one hosting company to another hosting company because it's a standard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good point.
So, anyways, that's where I'm going to leave it there. If you're going to build anything inside of AI, make sure that you are backing up those skills, right? And that anything that you're building is going to be portable from one platform to another platform, and think ahead a little bit. Don't be stuck with building custom software that's going to be obsolete in 6 months. Okay. You can build agents that can adapt, that can be portable, and just so be thinking about that, and don't get stuck in the trap of maintenance, right? And having to maintain those things, because that is kind of where custom software really lives is maintaining that software.
Yep. Good point.
It's a good place to wrap it up.
All right. Let's wrap it up then. All right. Well, everybody, thanks for joining us here today. Make sure that you like and subscribe to us. I'm going to kick it over actually to John to talk about our community that we are building. Why don't you talk a little bit about that, John?
Yeah. So in the show notes, join the community. It's we've got the free community up right now. We have some people asking us about sort of a little bit more contact and access to us. So we're looking into that paid side of it. Just small membership where we can go a little bit deeper. You can get some other stuff like that. But right now, jump into the free community. Notes are in the below. You can sign up, and we've got extended show notes from each one of these calls. Christine, lovely member of our team, helps us with all of that kind of stuff, puts it up into the community. You can ask questions, you can get prompts and things like that we talk about, and all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, definitely follow along there. Make sure you like, subscribe, tell your friends about us, all that on YouTube and Spotify's and wherever you're kind of taking this stuff in. And yeah, just keep thinking the way we're thinking. Follow along, because this is an evolving field, and we're kind of trying to drop some nuggets into your head to think a little bit deeper. So everybody kind of runs off in one direction or avoids in the other, and the answer is somewhere in between. Just like we had both hands up, the answer is somewhere in between, and you kind of got to be thinking through this stuff on a regular basis.
100%. All right. Well, thanks y'all for joining in, and we'll see you guys next week. Appreciate it. Thanks. Bye.